Jimmy Fallon is actually one of the late night comedian hosts who has been criticized heavily because he seems to be the only one who has refrained from becoming political in a time where many people deem it a necessary time to become political because of the areas that we are going into. We had just covered a story the other day about how Trump is requesting 1.3 million IP addresses from a hosting site of a site that organizes protests against Trump. So you have that kind of authoritarianism. You have Steve Bannon, the white supremacist and the person who said that Breitbart was the meeting place for the alt-right in his administration, and he has, been very pussyfooting on condemning the white supremacy and protests that have been going on, the hatred going on, etc., etc. So I think this seems to be Jimmy Fallon's breaking point. Even though he's not technically getting into people politics, he is now going to talk about, he talked about racism. He got very emotional, he got very tearful, and he talked about racism. So CNN says, Jimmy Fallon wasn't playing it for laughs with his monologue Monday night. Instead, Fallon, at times appearing to fight back tears, spoke from the heart about Saturday's deadly events in Charlottesville, Virginia. While acknowledging that The Tonight Show is not political, Fallon opened up about the clashes in Charlottesville between white nationalists and counter-protesters. He said it was his responsibility to stand up against intolerance and extremism. What happened over the weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia was just disgusting. Fallon said, I was watching the news like everyone else, and you're seeing Nazi flags and torches and white supremacists, and I was sick to my stomach. Fallon said he wondered how he would explain racism to his young daughters, who are 2 and 4, and paid tribute to Heather Heyer, who died after a car rammed into a group protesting the white nationalists. Heather Heyer died fighting for what she believed in. He also called out the actions of President Donald Trump and his delayed response to the tragedy. So actually earlier I stated that he's not really getting political. He is. That was my apologies. Quote, the fact that it took the president 2 days to come out and clearly denounce racists and white supremacists is shameful. And I think he finally spoke out because people everywhere stood up and said something. It's important for everyone, especially white people in this country, to speak out against this. Ignoring it is just as bad as supporting it. So finally, this is Jimmy Fallon's breaking point, is the clear white supremacy and racism that is on the grow, and one that Donald Trump has really failed to strongly come out and condemn, which is an injustice, of course, for the whole country. But this guy has actually had lower ratings than someone like Stephen Colbert, to my understanding. I had read a story about that, because he has decided to go apolitical, and there gets to a point where it just gets so bad that you have to talk about it, and if you don't, I mean, there's just going to be repercussions for that. And I prefer someone like a Stephen Colbert. I actually like Stephen Colbert's show. I think that he's pretty funny. Some people seem to be tiptoeing on it. I really enjoy it. I think he does a great job. I'm glad that Jimmy Fallon has finally stopped fence riding, and I'm hoping that he continues this trend and continues to talk about what's going on, because we need more people like this. We need more people like Stephen Colbert. We need more people like Seth Meyers. Even Jimmy Kimmel, during the healthcare debacle, had came out and done a very, very great story about his little kid who had, I forget what exact disability it was, but if he didn't have healthcare, millions of people don't in the United States, that he would not have been able to help his child, which was truly amazing, and he needs to stop fence riding. What's up, guys? It's Saul Hill here. You guys are watching The Progressive Voice. Make sure you guys click subscribe down below. We're fighting Donald Trump tooth and nail, and we need your help.